Good day, my friends. Toby1 Shinobi here, and today I'm going to show you how to win 1v1s much more consistently in Fortnite Zero build. Now, a lot of you might think that 1v1s come down to skill and movement and aim, but really 1v1s are more of like a game of chess. It's a game of wits, right? It's more about strategy, positioning, tactics, and equipment more so than raw skill. So yeah, I kind of want to prove that to you, and I'm going to show you the absolute fundamentals you need to master in order to win more 1v1s consistently. So let's jump into that. I'm going to take you into creative lobby with my friend and kind of show you the tactics that you can use in a 1v1 to get an advantage in the fight. And it's all about getting an advantage in these fights and not making the first mistake, and I'm about to show you that. All right, so we are in a custom game here with one of my Shinobi masters, Fuzzy Dunlop, and he's going to help me show you these fundamentals, these 1v1 fundamentals that I'm talking about. So first off, we're going to start with something called the right shoulder peek. The right shoulder peek is extremely powerful in Fortnite. It's something that I was not using enough early on, and once I really made getting that right shoulder peek a priority, I really started to have more success in my 1v1s. Understanding that like you have a huge advantage when you have a right shoulder peek in pretty much any scenario, whether it's long range or short range. So Fuzzy, come over here. Up here and just stand kind of like right here. Okay, so Fuzzy, can you see me right now?
I cannot.
You cannot see me. Okay, I can see all of you. Almost all of you. So Fuzzy cannot see me, but I can see him. Right off the bat, we can see how powerful this right shoulder peek is, right? I can't shoot him right now because the game just won't let me. It is something that like it knows that your enemy can't see you, so I think it tries to level the odds a little bit. But once I come out here, I can shoot him completely. And, you know, we get 180 damage on him. Now, how much of my body can you see, Fuzzy?
Now I can see from basically the left side of your body.
Okay, like the left midpoint or center point of my body. Yeah, yeah.
Cut right down the middle.
Yep, so go ahead and try to land up a nice shot on my chest. What do you hit me for? Nothing. You see that?
39 if I get your elbow.
Yep, so right there, guys, that is so powerful. I can do as much damage as I want to him, and he can barely hit me. So a quick little peek like this is extremely dangerous in close range fights and gives you a huge advantage. Just like that, boom. So whenever you are 1v1ing, you want to set up these right shoulder peeks. If you're in structure fights, if you're out in the woods behind a tree, it's the same deal. At longer ranges, the enemy is going to be able to see you a little bit more because that angle cuts down a little tighter. Okay, so now we're talking about the right shoulder peek in like a more of a long range fight, right? So how much of my body can you see right now, Fuzzy?
If I'm looking straight at you, I can only see the very edge of your body, but if I look to the right, I can see a little bit more of you.
Go ahead and try to spray me with an AR as best as you can.
If you can call this an AR.
All right, you see how he can barely even hit me? Oh no, it broke. That's all right. So you can see, he barely even hit me. He hit me with like one bullet, maybe two bullets. Now, I'm gonna do the same thing. You can barely see me, right, Fuzzy?
Yep.
Okay, so the tighter I am to this tree, the less he can like kind of see me. But I can shoot him as much as I want, and he can barely see me. So at longer ranges, it's still just as powerful. All right, so whenever you're in a fight, never go left shoulder peek. Never go left shoulder, because as you can see right here, like if I'm trying to hit him and he's behind this tree right here, I can't even see it until I'm fully exposed. My body's fully exposed. You can pretty much see all of me, right, Fuzzy?
Yep.
Okay, and are you seeing? You're looking at me right now. See how much I can see of him? He's got a right shoulder peek here, and I can't even see his body. I can see his elbow. Like, it is so difficult to land consistent shots on him, especially with like an assault rifle, right? Because it just sprays, has recoil, and it's really hard to hit. But he can see all of me. Go ahead and shoot me, Fuzzy. Okay, see that? He's landing solid shots on me, and I can barely see him. So in a 1v1 situation, he has a huge advantage. Now, if I step over here to the other side of this tree, okay, so you can see me right now?
Not yet.
So Fuzzy's trying to see me right now, and he can't still. I'm on this right shoulder peek right here.
I see you. Now I see you.
Okay, so I'm on a right shoulder peek right here. I can hit him. Can you even hit me, Fuzzy?
Nope. I can see your ear.
He literally can't even hit me right now. I'm on this right shoulder peek. I can do whatever I want to him, and he can't hit me. So that is how huge the right shoulder peek is at any range, guys. So definitely be utilizing the right shoulder peek. It's just gives you a huge advantage in 1v1s. All right, so next up we want to talk about high ground and head glitches. Now, high ground is also extremely important in Fortnite, and it also has a similar camera thing where you have a huge advantage by just peeking your head out. When you peek your head out like this is what they call a head glitch. I believe it's actually comes from like Modern Warfare or something, or Call of Duty, and it was actually where like you could see the enemy and the enemy couldn't see you at all because of the placement of the camera in first person view in that game. So you'd be able to poke out this far and they wouldn't even be able to see you. So that's where the name head glitch originates from, apparently. But in modern games, you can still see the player. You can still see my head, right, Fuzzy?
Yes.
Okay, so you can probably barely see my head, but I can see almost his whole body right now. And he can probably just see my head, is that right?
I can see your whole head and neck.
Whole head and neck. Okay, so yeah, he sees my whole head and neck. So he'd have to land extremely accurate shots while I'm unloading my gun on his body. So there's gonna be a lot of visual noise on his screen, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stress for him. And if I start getting too hurt, I just duck or I back down. Yeah, I just duck, he can't see me. I back up, he can't see me. I have full control of the fight in a fight like this. So I can basically just peek over, shoot him a couple times, rotate to a different area. And this is what I really recommend. Whenever you've got this high ground advantage, right? You have time on your side. The enemy basically has to find cover. And so if they start lighting you up and start landing some good headshots, land a couple shots, back out, and move to a different angle. Because this, for one, really stresses them out because now they're like, oh gosh, where is he? When is he gonna peek? Do I turn my back and run away? Or do I stay here and try to fight? Most of the time, they're gonna stay there and try to fight, and you can just watch them. I can watch him with my third-person camera here, and he doesn't know where I am or what I'm doing, but I'm watching him the whole time. I poke out, I hit him a couple times, I back down, I move to a different angle, hit him a couple times. So if you have like no health at all in a fight like this, in a 1v1, but you have the high ground, this is how you can play it. You take peek shots, you shoot, you move to a different position, a couple shots, move to a different position. And again, they are in a very, very, very difficult situation. Basically, no chance of winning this fight unless they have really good accuracy or they get lucky. But if you play this cover right, you're gonna win like 99% of your fights doing this, even if you have like 50 HP, because they can only land about one bullet on you at a time. And if you let your health kind of reset or whatever, get a different angle, pop them again really quick, and then just keep doing that over and over, you're basically going to win every high ground engagement. Okay, now let's talk about good high ground versus bad high ground, because there is a difference. In this game, high ground is extremely important, but some high ground is not as good as others. So come up to that same spot, Fuzzy.
Like digital whack-a-mole, by the way.
Yeah. So if I'm right here, Fuzzy can see my entire body, right? I think that I have high ground. Now, Fuzzy, come up to below me right here. Come down to below me. Okay. See how I can't see Fuzzy? Now, Fuzzy, can you see me?
Yes, I can see you. I can't shoot you, though.
Okay, yes. So Fuzzy can see me right now. He has low ground, but he actually has the advantage because he can see me and I can barely see him. I can like come up to this edge and see him, but at this point, like I'm in trouble because if I'm right here, Fuzzy controls this fight. He jumps up and shoots me. Go ahead, jump up, shoot me with a shotgun. So this is what yeah. So in most fights, you would think that Fuzzy has the advantage up here being on high ground, but he really doesn't. He's totally exposed. I'm hidden. I can just jump up, tag him, and I'm right back down, and he can't see me again. Now he has to make the decision to either stand and fight, jump down to low ground to meet me, or run away. And all of those options are pretty terrible for him because whatever he does, I'm going to be able to see what he's trying to do, and I'm going to be able to pop him. Go ahead and do anything, Fuzzy. Try to push me. So he couldn't find me for the first 1 or 2 seconds that he was airborne, and I was able to see him the whole time, see where he was moving, plan his trajectory, and so yeah, that is bad high ground. All right, let's talk about good high ground. So if I'm using the same piece of cover, the same environment right here on this roof, a good way to fight this is actually using the ridgeline. Fuzzy's gonna go ahead and try to peek me. Go ahead and try to peek me, Fuzzy. So try to hit me. So see how much he has to hit almost a perfect headshot to be hitting me. But I have the ability to just back down into cover and kind of get a different angle. And I still have that high ground advantage. I can rotate on him like this too. And now I have a right shoulder peek. I just has more control in the fight because I'm up higher and I have more of a visual and just more control, be able to get around the building, the structure quicker. So that is basically the head glitch again, but playing like a slanted surface correctly. So you don't want to play a slanted surface like this. You don't want to be fully exposed because really I have no cover. I have no advantage here. Anytime you're on a roof that's just fully exposed and you can't use it as cover, if your enemy is out here in any of this 180 degrees right here, you're actually at a pretty huge disadvantage because they can just grab cover easily and you have to run all the way back to behind this ridge to get cover. So the best thing you can do on a slanted roof like this or something similar is to play the ridge line, to basically head glitch like this and duck around. And basically you control the fight, right? It's the same thing as high ground. So even if I have bad aim, right? I can still control this fight. So a lot of these techniques, right, if you have bad aim, you're still going to be winning a lot of fights because you have good positioning and just a huge advantage in how much of the enemy's body you can see versus how much of your body they can see. Okay, so now we have a similar situation of high ground, right? Like I could be on a flat roof right here and Fuzzy's down here. Now this is good high ground because I can just do that head glitch thing and back down. So whenever you're on a flat roof and your enemy's below you, you have a huge advantage. If they cannot jump up to one shot shoot you right here. The thing is, like, so if Fuzzy was up here on this roof, if Fuzzy's up on this roof right here, and we're talking about a single story building, a lot of times the player on low ground has advantage in this single story to this fight because they can jump up and shoot and then immediately return to cover. As opposed to a 2-story or a 3-story where people cannot jump up to shoot the enemy, they are at a huge disadvantage. So anyone below this person right here where I'm at has a significant disadvantage in the fight. So I'm just controlling this fight. I peek out, I get to shoot, Fuzzy's stuck down here, and he either has to run or get right up against the wall or do something. He's got to basically figure out a way, and I can still watch him, but he can't see me. Like, he cannot see me right now, right, Fuzzy? You can't see me?
I can't see you.
Yeah, so I see him. So I'm controlling this fight. I get to choose when to peek out, when to put a shot on him, etc. You know, even if you have really low HP, you win these fights as long as you play them well. And now that brings up the next topic, which is rotating for an advantage during a 1v1. If you get hurt in a 1v1, and if you're at a disadvantage, right, you always want to try to find a new advantage. So he gets me hurt here. He's got a pretty big advantage in the fight, right? Now I need enough space from him to basically get away and cause him to make a mistake. He's chasing me. He's kind of lost me out now, right? So that gives me an advantage for a second here because he's kind of bloodthirsty. He's looking to finish me off. He doesn't know where I am. And that it doesn't matter anymore that I have low health because I can do something like that. I can poke out, spray him real quick, rotate, and now we're on like an even footing, maybe even an advantage. So now I'm looking for a new advantage, right? I'm going to break open the ceiling here. I'm just going to be playing right shoulder peeks. I'm playing very kind of passively, and I'm waiting for him to make a mistake. The biggest thing in 1v1s, guys, is just not making a mistake. It really is. It's about who makes the first mistake, usually is the person that loses the fight. So right there, that was a mistake. He jumps up, right? And he's in that mantle animation. I have high ground. That was a mistake. And that is basically throwing away your life. It happens all the time. It's really hard. But the more that you learn to cut out these mistakes out of your 1v1s, the more success you're going to have. Let the enemy make the mistake, get the advantage on them, and you're going to win like 90% of your 1v1s. As long as you're not up in each other's faces and they have a drum shotgun or, you know, a spray weapon. So it's very important to maintain the at least medium distance so that you can always reset the fight. So with that being said, just never let your enemy get right up close in your face unless you have a huge advantage. If you've hit them with a lot of damage, then by all means get up in their face and try to finish them off. But if you guys are on even footing and you don't know how good of a player you're playing against, you don't know anything about them, you don't know what their loadout is, you should at least be playing medium range. Medium range where you can still hit them with shotguns or SMGs pretty effectively, but you're not gonna like take a huge hit of damage and then instantly get finished off, right? You can always control the fight, move to a new piece of cover, rotate, whatever you gotta do. Okay, so now let's talk about distance in a 1v1. And distance is super important in 1v1s because what you wanna do, you never wanna like take a 50-50 fight, right? And a 50-50 fight is this. We're out in the open and we're just trying to figure out who has the better aim here. It's a 50% chance that he's gonna have a better aim or a better internet connection or, a simple flick of the mouse and a miss like that is going to lose you the entire fight. Just a millisecond will lose you the entire fight if you just whiff a shot, right? He kills me. But you can avoid that. Pretty much 90% of fights, you can avoid a 50-50. So the ideal range or the ideal setup in a 1v1 is to have good cover and like kind of a medium range like this, right? So I can spray him, I get him pretty hurt, and now he has to move somewhere, right? And we're kind of playing chess. Like, where is he going to go? What is he going to do to get a new advantage? So he just got this cover piece, and I still have high ground. I can still kind of jump up onto this rock and put pressure on him and make him make a mistake. So I'm just waiting for him to make the next mistake. I don't want to really risk taking a lot of damage here. I'm just going to wait for him to do something wrong. And that's kind of what a lot of fights are. You want to start medium range. You don't want to start close range. You don't want to be jumping into 50-50s right off the bat unless your enemy is just really hurt to begin with. The safest way to take a fight is to have space between you so that you can always get away. So Fuzzy, go ahead, melt me up. So say he gets a huge advantage of the fight. I've got space though. So now he has to chase me to finish me off. So right here, if I take this peek right here, this is no good for me. I'm at a disadvantage if he's chasing me, because this is a left shoulder peek. So I need to move, maybe duck right here, get to a right shoulder peek, and let him push me, let him make the mistake. Now I'm just waiting for him to make it. He's looking for me, and now we're at a huge advantage. Now I take high ground, and I let him make a mistake. Oops. But see, even if I miss a shot or whatever, I have so much advantage in the fight already. He's already so stressed out that a lot of times, even if you miss, even if you're not hitting your shots during the fight, you're gonna win it just by playing good positioning and good strategy and letting your enemy make the first mistake. So that's pretty much the gist of it. I just kind of want to show you some freeze frame examples to give you an idea of what it really looks like for the other player and your own perspective and how to set up these advantages in quick little 1v1s. And now we're going to get into actual gameplay to give you some examples of what it really looks like in a real game of me fighting some 1v1s. All right, Fuzzy, thank you so much, man.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Anytime.
All right, now that you are aware of all the fundamentals you need to master in order to win more 1v1s in Fortnite Zero build, I'm now going to show you real game examples of those being used, of these tactics or these advantages, right? Basically playing the game of chess in real time. So here we are, we're at the gas station near Frenzy Fields or the RV park. I know there's an enemy across the street, so I'm going to go ahead and throw a porta-fort to cut the angle so he can't hit me as I run across the street, and then just kind of add some pressure, put some pressure on him. Now they just finished up a fight here, so I'm kind of like thinking I can put some pressure on him. I see his gun stick out behind this wall right here, so I'm gonna start spraying it out because that's the only thing he's got left for cover. And he's gonna move and throw another porta-fort down. We hit him for a nice 116. And immediately, I actually run down because I realize that I am now on low ground and he's got the better high ground. He could just melt me and then pop back down behind cover. So I'm actually going to take a second, reload my weapons because I just sprayed a lot, and kind of reassess the situation. Now, I know he's probably healing right now, so I just hit a little slap juice to give myself infinite stamina, and now I'm going to go for the push. So I jump across this gap, I clamber, and now I'm aiming to clamber up on this again to try to, take high ground on him. He hits me for a nice pump right there, hits me for, 80 damage, and these tires throw me back, and now I'm at kind of a disadvantage here, or at least we're even in the fight at least. So I'm actually going to just kind of chill for a second and re-heal, keep an eye on him, and now he's going to push up, which is a good move by him. I hit him for 36 right here, not a lot, but he does a nice clamber on my porta-fort. And now we're going to jump out and we hit him with a little 180 shot. Just trying to break his camera so that he can't find me super easy. I'm not just a super easy target to slap out of the air. Now we're doing the dance, right? This is just a little salsa dance right here. Now I'm playing low ground. He's got to come up and see me. I'm going to climb up this, kind of takes him by surprise. And we hit a nice pump and kill him. Now, the reason that I won that fight, this is a very good player. I can just tell that he's a very good player by the way that he's positioning himself, the way that he's moving, that he's aggressive. It's a good fight for this guy, but I didn't make any major mistakes here. Even though I could have. I didn't give my left shoulder. I didn't do a left shoulder peek here. He took me by surprise climbing up here, and then I instantly jumped out. I didn't just stand there and take a pump to the face. And now we've kind of we're at equal odds here. He's got high ground, but now I'm right below him, and he can't really just peek me easily. We get the clamber. And we just didn't make any major mistakes there, because if you're playing a player like that, if you make a mistake, they're going to take advantage of it and you just automatically lose. So again, that's the name of the game. Just make less mistakes than your enemy. The first person to make a mistake is probably the person that's going to lose the fight. So right here, I pull up a car and I knew there's a guy here. So I'm reloading my weapon, getting ready for the fight. He catches me by surprise as I'm exiting and just absolutely melts me with a drum. And now I'm going to jump out. I'm using the car as cover. I'm going to probably take a little peek shot at him. Yep, we hit him for 80. We know that his drum is basically unloaded. He just used all of his ammo, so I'm kind of putting pressure on, and I'm just out in the open. If he was going to shoot me, I'd jump back into my car. He's going to shockwave out. And now we got to chase. Chase is on. And we chase him, and we're looking for him. And I get out here, and I see footsteps down here. So I think he's under me. And now I'm basically just not going to give him the advantage. I'm not going to be the person that makes the first mistake. if I drop down here at any point, he could be ratting somewhere that I'm just not aware of, and he could just melt me in the back. Just one pump is all it takes, you know, one mistake is all it takes. So I'm just gonna keep high ground, maintain high ground, keep opening up the roof, looking for angles to see this guy, like hopefully catch him. Because I thought he was at the barn here, so I'm like really looking at the front of the barn, trying to catch him creeping around. Now I'm not seeing him. I'm still looking around. I get this angle, and we're kind of sliding around, making sure that he's not going to catch me off guard. And now I let my guard down. I'm talking to chat now. I'm like, okay, this guy ran away. We saw gunshots earlier in the distance. Maybe they're fighting. In my mind, he ran away, and he's just gone. And now I'm hitting my augments, this guy jump scared me right here. This is actually what happened. I was talking to chat, I think, for a second. He jump scares me. Now we got the inventory out. We got the augments out. It's all bad. This is GG's, right? This is over. But do not give up, right? Never give up. Always fight your hardest. Always give it a shot, because oftentimes you'll surprise yourself. And so I throw a porta-fort down after getting out of all that inventory and augments, and I wait for him to come around. Now I take a second here. So I threw the porta-fort down, but I give myself a second, because he's either going to come through this door or that door, or he's going to come up behind me. Now I'm right in the center of this porta-fort, so I can kind of like move any way I want, forward, left, right, whatever. I want to know where he's coming from so that I can go the opposite direction. I'm watching his radar, his footsteps on my visual audio. He's coming around behind me. I'm opening the door, and then I'm taking a second, just a second, so that he's not gonna like wait for me to come out and then peek shot me. And now I go, because he doesn't have that angle now. He's gonna try to go through that back door, and so then I run. Now I've got enough distance between us, right? I talked about this earlier, as having that distance to be able to make a play or turn a fight around. We've got enough distance, and we've got a porta-fort. We're gonna throw it on this hill, get some high ground, and we miss a shot and make a big mistake again. We hit tires, and that throws us into this wall, and we probably should be dead again. But we slide out of it over the roof. And again, you can miss shots in these fights. Like, you don't have to be the most mechanically gifted player in terms of aim or movement, but if you are playing strategically, if you're just looking for advantages, you can win these fights. You can overcome the odds. So now I'm waiting for him to make another mistake or just figure out what he's gonna do. I'm gonna sit on top of this roof. I could have the option of dropping down and going around if he comes up top, or going under, or if he goes under, which he is, I'm gonna go back over the roof. So I go back over the roof, and now this guy is frustrated, right? I've played enough of these games to know how frustrated this guy is. He is salivating, just salivating at the mouth to kill me. You just can taste it, right? He wants his meal. And we hit him for 50. We were hoping for a nice headshot there, but we kind of whiffed. Again, you don't have to be the most mechanically gifted with aim to win these fights. He's still pushing, like he's sprinting to try to kill me. And that's just another bad move by him. So he's made two mistakes. One was jumping up on this roof and let me get an easy shot on him, which I didn't really take a huge advantage of. And then he's sprinting, so I'm going to take another shot at him. And now all I have to do is just finish him off. We're basically on even footing at this point, and he's unable to finish the fight. So I hope that gives you an idea of the kind of, you know, what was going on in my head, the rotations I was making, and just kind of like letting him make the mistake. Now there's another guy pushing me right after we just finished this guy, and I'm not going to come out there and play his game in the open and just do an aim duel, because that's a left shoulder peek, and we want right shoulder peeks. So instead, we're going to look for a new advantage, and that advantage is going to be high ground. We're just going to play the high ground. We're going to go upstairs, look for an angle on this guy. Now, I opened this up earlier, and he doesn't know that. And we get a little bit of a drop on him, 38 damage there. And now we're just taking advantage of the fact that he doesn't know where he's being hit from. We drop and hit another 90, and now he's just on the run. So he made the mistake of pushing that like a little too aggressively. He had low ground. He didn't know the ceiling was open, but he just wasn't playing angles well. So he made the first mistake. Now we're in the end game. So in this clip, we're in the end game. I know there's a guy on the roof. I'm trying to get some heals. I'm trying to get some something going. This guy snipes my car. The snipers were in the game at this point. And now I'm in trouble. I got a porta-fort, but I'm getting hit by this guy, and now I'm starting to get hit by the enemy on the left as well. And now in these situations, I've been in enough stressful situations now in video games that I don't like freak out. I definitely do, you know, like I'm kind of stressed out, but like I can calm myself down in the situation and, you know, realize what I got to do next. And the next thing to do is definitely get heals, get those heals that I was coming for. I got stuck in the porta-fort, and take a second to look around for any other heals, any other things that we can carry. And now we need to like probably start fighting back, or we need to move, because this guy's hitting our porta-fort, so we either need to fight back or move to zone. And zone is actually more important, because I know I got a guy to my right and the guy behind me. If I can get to zone, then I could probably get an advantage in this. And right now I have that little bit of cover, so as long as I play that cover and cut the angle so he can't see me, we can get to this new spot. This guy's coming up in a truck, so I decided to throw my portafort here because I don't want him jumping out and melting me. And now we got a tree on our way, so we're gonna go ahead and knock that down so that we can see what's going on and keep an eye on that guy that was on the roof. This guy's down here in the truck, so we know we got a few moments to look at this guy, and he almost headshot snipes me. And now he made a mistake of being out in the open, and he pays the price. And now this guy's gonna try to third party me, which is the right move. But here's where he makes the mistake, is pushing across this open field too quickly. Now, a lot of players in my shoes would probably freak out because they're hurt, they're in a 1v1 situation, and they have a disadvantage right now. And that would leave them blind to the advantage that they actually have, which is that this guy is thirsty and wants to finish his kill and just move in, pressure me. So I know that that's going to happen. So I immediately peek out with this right shoulder peek that I can just slide back into. But like, this is my best advantage right now. This is my best odds of winning this game, is putting fire on this guy right now and hopefully catching him off guard, which is exactly what we do. So we capitalize on that. He made the first mistake. That was kind of a 1v1 right there, but I just want to show you, like, that could have just been me and him duking it out, and he would have probably made the same mistake, which is pushing out into the open, thinking that someone's not watching you. It's so common for players to do that these right shoulder peek, this third person camera, being able to see around walls is so powerful because they don't know what you're doing behind the wall. They think you're healing up or whatever, but you're watching them and you can just poke out and start shooting them. Totally different than first person shooters, which is something that I learned. If you saw my video about my progress in Fortnite and how I progressed over a year and got so good at the game, you would see that one of the things that I learned to master was this third person camera, because I came from first person shooters, and this third person camera is so powerful. One of the first things you should master is taking advantage of the third person peek. Okay, so now we're in a fight. We just hit this guy for 80 damage with a rifle here. Okay, so yeah, we just hit this guy for 80 damage with a rifle. That's good. He's got his shield off, his overshield's off, and an extra 30 on shields. And now we're playing a tree game. And the way you play tree games is you just don't give them an advantage. There's the right shoulder peek. This is just kind of proof of the right shoulder peek, right? For a second there, I give it up, but like, I was also just trying to catch him off guard by over rotating, because he could have over rotated behind the tree and I could have like got him with a nice pump. He's a good player, apparently, or he knows what's going on. So he's playing right shoulder peek. And the key about this is just never give up the right shoulder peek. Never give them the advantage. Never give them the right shoulder peek on you. Just keep rotating until they get so frustrated that they eventually give it up, or that you catch up with them. Just keep rotating right is what I'm saying. And that's a good example of that, right? Like, I've been in this situation so many times now, and I've made the mistake of like getting frustrated and going left, and I always die because they get that huge, massive shot on you where you can barely even see them. You can't shoot them for sure because they're on the left side and your gun's going into a wall, and they get that right shoulder peek on you, they hit you, and then that's pretty much all she wrote. You're done at that point because they've got the right shoulder peek and you're stuck in an awkward spot. And that's kind of what happens here. This guy slowed down too much and let me have the right shoulder for just a moment. That's all it takes. The first person to make a mistake loses the fight. We're looking for a rat. We're playing kind of a right shoulder here. We know he's down there. And this guy was kind of playing passive, so I kind of like made an aggressive move here. And I realized he was on the left side of the vault, so I decided I'm gonna go for the right shoulder here because he's got a left shoulder. So once you like start learning this right shoulder thing, you realize what other enemies have, and this guy's got a left shoulder, which is no good for him. This is bad news for him. I've got the right shoulder. He's within like, I can touch his face right now. Hit him for 130. You'd expect to hit him for more, but I don't know. Didn't even hit that hard, but we still win because like, even if he pumped me really hard, I'm just gonna back into this and he's gonna be in trouble because he's not gonna be able to hit my whole body and I'll be able to hit his whole body. So that's over. He made the mistake of holding the left shoulder. And so I just wanted to reiterate there, right shoulder peek. It's so simple and it's kind of dumb, but just do it. Just don't do the left shoulder peek. Don't give up the right shoulder peek. Just keep working for the right shoulder peek. Okay, in this instance, we got hit in the back. This guy's shocking onto us, and I don't really like how this is looking. I've got a white pump. I'm not like loving the fact that we're just going to take an open field fight right here because there's not really any advantage, right? It becomes an aim duel. If we both get on this roof and we start shooting, trading shots, it's an aim duel. Somebody could finish us off, a third party in the distance. If we win, I just don't like it. So instead, I'm gonna look for a new advantage, let him make a mistake. It's all about letting them make a mistake. So I'm sitting here, reading what he's doing. I'm holding his right shoulder in case he drops, I'm gonna shoot him. I hear him above me, get the shockwave out, and now we're going up. So now he's kind of like at a disadvantage because he doesn't really know what's going on or where I'm at. So I've got a small advantage going right now. And if I can land some damage on him with the flapjack, which has great in-air accuracy, boom, we get some good damage. And now the fight's ours. And I came out there into a left shoulder peek because the right shoulder peek right here would be awkward. It's like through windows. I did give him a bit of an advantage for a second here, but I've got him so hurt and like flustered enough that I'm pretty confident. And notice how I line up the shot here. I'm not flicking onto him. I'm jumping and I'm just letting it come across his body and then pulling the trigger when it crosses his body. So it's just an easy kill. And then we shield up and cover. Okay, so now we got a guy in the jungle. We see the dirt bike coming and we instantly take high ground as soon as we can because we just don't want to fight this guy on an even footing, right? Like always get the advantage. So go for the advantage. The advantage right here is high ground. He's out in the open, putting some shots on him. We hit him for about 100 and that is an instant push for me. I've got 2 shocks. I'm going to burn one of them. He porta forts up, and I kind of want to just like finish this fight. I'm pretty aggressive here. It's not the best move, to be honest. And I'm using a combat SMG in the air, and the combat SMG has terrible in-air accuracy. It's really just like, you know, RNG where these bullets go. We hit him for 20 damage. It's not much. That was kind of a mistake. And now we're below him, which is kind of sketch. So now I'm trying to get a right shoulder peek here, but I'm running into this tree. And now I'm just like hoping he's going to jump out and I can finish him because I still have the advantage here. I've only got 40 damage off me. He's got like 100 off of him. He's pretty flustered. And now he puts up a porta fort over there, which is a pretty good move. And so now I'm thinking like what I should do. I know that I can make this gap if I jump, and I know that he's probably going for a heal. So I decide to reload my weapon and then just go for it. Just pressure on. Keep the pressure on. He just drinks a slurp. We get him for a nice 85 there. We just make the shot, line it up nice and easy. And then boom, he just comes to peek me right there. And he doesn't really have a great advantage being up here, surprisingly, because again, the right shoulder peek thing, this is more of a left shoulder. If he was on the other side of the porta fort, it would be easier, but like his gun's on the right side of his body, so it'd be hitting this thing over here. He really has to like jump up to see me. And he does, and I hit him with a nice pump. We just line it up. We know what he's going to try to do. That was his advantage right there. And yeah, so that wasn't the best example, but that was like an example of keeping the pressure on and not giving away the advantage, really. I didn't make any huge mistakes there. I was anticipating his moves, kind of. And now this is a quick example of kind of what not to do in this player's case. They have a drum shotgun, and they get really aggressive here. And notice that I am not going to drop down on them. A lot of people would drop down and try to get the angle on this guy and hit him as he's climbing up. Problem with that is now that he has the advantage, right? You kind of made the first mistake by dropping down and then you're stuck below. And it's just better to be high ground. If this guy's going to keep coming up, he's going to make the mistake and I'm just going to take advantage of that. So what I'm going to do is wait for him to clamber. And I'm going to line up this shot. I'm zooming in so I get extra damage and we hit him for 190. And the fight's over. He just made the mistake of clambering up into someone that just is waiting for him to do that. So we just take advantage of his mistake. I don't know how many times I'm going to say it, but I'll say it again. Just don't make the first mistake. The least amount of mistakes you can make, more likely you're going to win. All right, so we get someone in this castle. And a lot of times you can take people by surprise. If you want the fight to be over fast, you can take people by surprise because they don't have enough time to know what's going on. So I shockwave up. I miss the mantle. I'm not on high ground. I decide let's go through the wall and just see if we can catch this guy by surprise. We don't see him, and so we immediately jump back up to high ground because we don't know where he is. He could see us. So we just want to get back up to high ground, try to find an advantage. Now we see footsteps here. I got an exotic Maven, so I'm playing kind of aggressive. We catch his bot here. We only hit him for 28, and he's already ripped off our shield and done an extra 9, so he's hit us for like 59 damage. We're not really winning this right now, and I'd like to just kind of reset, load my gun up, maybe figure out what I'm going to do next, maybe let him make a mistake. And what do you know? He's going to make a move, and I realize what he's doing, so I realize I need to immediately like get to a spot where he can't shoot me in the head, basically, because it got high ground on me, which is a good move. So I'm going to shockwave out now and just like, you know, kind of reset the fight again. And now we're just, you know, we're doing this dance, right? And this is what 1v1s against good players kind of come down to. It's just like, who's going to make that first mistake? I'm just playing the game of radar. I don't even care about his bot. I'm watching his footsteps. I'm locked in on these footsteps. These ones right here. I know the other ones are the bot. And he's like kind of playing that. I've played enough like Halo and arena shooters that have radar to be very good at watching radar. So I'm just watching those footsteps. Now he makes the mistake of coming all the way around the corner because I frustrated the heck out of him. I could feel his frustration building. Like, just fight me, dude, is what he's saying. And I've been there, man. It's like, just fight me. Just fight me. Like, stop being such a coward, right? And I you know, we take advantage of the fact that he's just playing too aggressive. We do some nice little movement there. We hit a nice little slide into a jump, and we just have an overpowered weapon. But I did not give away the advantage. I didn't make the first mistake, and that made things fairly easy for me. I respected him as a player to be like, I'm not going to take any chances here. We played fairly slow. So this is an interesting clip. I wouldn't say it's the most strategic thing to do, but I knew the guy was on the other side of this roof, and I think they just finished a fight. So I decided that I'm going to go for a slide jump off the top of this roof, you know, for a little juke play. And I miss it, but I did catch him off guard. He doesn't know what's going on for a second, so we get him for a nice like 160 there. Miss another shotgun shot, and we're able to finish. And the advantage that I had there was just like the element of surprise, kind of sliding over that roof and jumping. It was pretty risky. If he wasn't there, he could have hit me. But now we're healing up, trying to be behind cover, but this guy hits us with a Cybertron cannon. We don't have time to grab the heals, and we're out. We're just going to shockwave out because this is no good. Now I've got one shockwave left, and you've always got to be carrying equipment. I've said it so many times, but I'll say it again. I don't know if I've said it that many times in this video, but always be carrying equipment in Zero build. You have to have equipment, otherwise very likely you're gonna die unless you've got like a vehicle or some crazy high ground that no one can get to. But you really should be carrying equipment whenever you can, because it's gonna save your life. You're gonna get caught out in the open or taken by surprise, and you just gotta have equipment. You've seen how many times it saved my life already. You know, half of these clips are using equipment. So anyways, this guy's got me really hurt, and I'm kind of waiting for him to push me, and here he comes. Now I'm gonna let him get close, and then I'm gonna shockwave over his head, so he can't really easily hit me. He's flipping around to try to track me. He can't do it quick enough. And now I'm going back for these heals. I see his bot down here. I'm gonna heal up, and I'm just trying to keep an eye out to see if he's gonna get an angle on me. So now we're looking for a new advantage, and the advantage right now is kind of like the element of surprise. He's thirsting, foaming at the mouth to kill me again, like we've seen so many times before. We're just gonna wait for him to show himself or make a mistake. And again, pushes me blindly, basically. Doesn't know where I'm at, and he just comes down here on a vine, which is kind of crazy, and finds out that I have some aim. That was his mistake right there, was just jumping out in the open, not knowing where I was, and I took advantage of it. I turned the fight around, I found a new advantage, element of surprise, and a little head glitch right here. Even if this guy was to start shooting me right here, he's still dead because I've got the head glitch. He's not going to be able to do much against that. So yeah, that's kind of like turning a fight around and using equipment well. Okay, so now we're in the end game, 4 players left. Now these last 2 clips, I actually want to show you mistakes or plays that enemies did really well and I did poorly, because it happens all the time, especially in end game. Like, you know, things get very dangerous very quickly. So end game and 4 players left, and the circle's coming in, and I don't have heals. So I was trying to get behind this guy, steal his stuff, get his heals, and then, you know, move to zone. But we just got discovered by another guy up there. He has high ground. I've got the storm on my back. I know right away that I need to start like putting pressure on this guy so that he isn't just melting me, because he could knock out the little cover that I have, and then I'm dead. I'm stuck. He has high ground. I have to jump down because I can't go backwards into the storm. So I'm going to knock out his cover first, and now I have a huge advantage, right? He's stuck out in the open. I've got cover, and we didn't finish him, somebody else did. Now here is where I make the big mistake. I was so stressed out about the storm. It's ticking for 5, and there's equipment right here. Porta bunker, shockwaves. And that is exactly what I came up here looking for. I was looking for health or equipment. And because I'm so flustered by the 1v1 that's about to happen, and this guy possibly being high ground or whatever, I'm just like, I freeze up and I just run right past it. And then we take a look at the zone, and I start to realize how bad of a situation I'm in. I'm like, oh no, there's just no cover here. He could be on high ground. I just don't know where he is. So now I need to get behind this rock, because this is like one of my only pieces of cover. Now, if I was a little more like quick to look, I would have seen that there's a tree over to my right as well, which is probably a better source of cover. I'm playing this edge because I know that zone's pulling back behind me. The zones this season are absolutely crazy. I really think Epic should do something about it because of the lack of mobility. It's crazy how these zones pull sometimes. It just puts you in really hard situations that are often kind of unwinnable. Because the storm right now, I have to go up this freaking cliff, and this guy has like hard cover. So that's the problem I'm having right now, is this guy has hard cover. I'm trying to put pressure on him, knock out his cover, but like he's got this hill and I've got this rock. Anytime you have hard cover and the enemy doesn't, you have an advantage, a big advantage. You can knock out their cover, just keep taking peek shots, knock out their cover, and they can't do much unless they can move to another piece of cover or they have equipment. And fortunately for him, I have nothing. I've got no equipment, I got no heals, and I'm in trouble. So I'm trying to put pressure back on him and not have him knock out this rock. I mark him, And now I'm just out of cover and I'm out in the open and I feel like I need to move. I was trying to probably make a play for that tree, but he's just got such an advantage with that hard cover there. And I'm out in the open that he just melts me. And he hits some really nice shots too. He just completely shreds me. So GG's, but I could have avoided that by taking a second in the stressful moment to just like breathe, look around, grab what I need and go, and then observe the scene a little bit better. Now here's another situation. This guy and I just got in a fight and I shockwaved over here to heal, reposition, reset the fight. Now we just get a nice little 70 on him. 77, and we're gonna push him because he's now low ground and I'm high ground, and this is an example of high ground right here. Is like how powerful high ground is. I am controlling this fight 100%, and there's not much he can do about it. Like he's just kind of screwed. So we hit him with 120, and now we let our pump cool down so we can come back out and take another shot, and he has zero control over the fight, and I had all the control. Now we're gonna go for this truck over here, hop in it, and we're looking for the last player. Kind of hoping they're going to shoot at me. Haven't yet, so I'm going to go for high ground on this gas station, and I get taken by surprise. Now here's the mistake I made. I thought that I could jump up here and put pressure on this guy before he got to me. I thought he might be further back. As soon as I see this guy right here, I should have been like shockwaving up to my left or back into zone. I have one shockwave. I can reset this fight. We don't have to take the 50-50. Basically decide that I'm going to try to take high ground on this guy and get the advantage, but it's a foot race and I really don't know like how fast he is, and he's going for the same thing. He's a Dark Voyager. He's been playing forever. He knows what to do. He pushes up, hits me with a crazy, crazy damage right here somehow with a Maven, and shreds me, and now I'm stuck low ground and I am stressed out. And this is what happens when you get hit hard or somebody gets the first shot on you and you're in a bad spot. You just like, you freeze up a little bit. And I had a shockwave. I probably could have made it out right here. I could have thrown it down on my feet, jumped out, gotten my heals, and reset the fight. Instead, I froze up. I try to get into cover and he finishes me off. So that's just to show you, like, you know, the other side of things, right? If you make the mistake in the fight, how quickly it can go wrong. And the mistake I made here was like taking this 50-50 chance fight where he gets a really nice clamber shot and I don't hit him that hard. I just like, my aim was a little off, and like whatever it was, his internet connection or whatever it is, however he's hitting me like this, you know, we should have just known that that's a 50-50 chance of winning the fight, right? So we're always trying to avoid those 50-50 odds of who has a better aim or who has a better internet connection. We're always just trying to find a solid advantage that we can be confident about in winning the fight, and this was not it. This is definitely a moment where I should have repositioned, just played zone, go behind me, but I thought that I could get this advantage here and I lost it. So I hope this has taught you the kind of the advantages to look for and how to turn fights around in these 1v1 situations. And again, you don't have to have cracked aim. You don't have to have the most crazy mechanical skills. You just have to be like anticipating your enemy's moves, being thinking about what they're going to try to do, and then letting them make the first mistake and using those advantages like right shoulder peeks, head glitches, high ground. Let them fall into your trap. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found this video helpful, if you liked it, please give it a like. It helps my channel so much. You know, I'm out here trying to grow. We're doing great, but a like on the video is so helpful. So if you could drop a like, I'd really appreciate it. If you're new here and you have not seen my videos, welcome in. I'm Toby1 Shinobi, and I'm here to help you improve your Fortnite Zero build game. Check out my must-watch playlist on my channel, and I think that'll be kind of the deciding factor for you if you want to subscribe to my channel or not. And once you decide that you do want to subscribe, because I'm confident in that, you should probably hit that notification bell as well, because I go live on Tuesdays and Fridays from 12:30 p.m. PST to 5:30 p.m. PST, and I'm happy to answer any questions live on stream that you might have. I just want to help you out with your gameplay in Fortnite Zero build, and I know that you're gonna love my content. I try to make the highest value content that I can to help you improve. So yeah, that's my spiel. Thank you for watching the video. Have yourself a great day. Shinobi out.